Unfortunately, I couldn't finish the second part of the Bandsaw upgrade series for this week because there's a slight issue with the variable frequency drive that I want to use. So that slows down everything. First of all, the drive works. Forwards, backwards. And I can adjust the speed. But I'm pretty sure you can hear the horrible noise. Of course, I knew before that I will have this noise issue when I upgrade with a VFD, but usually you can adjust that noise, because what you can hear is the carrier frequency. I won't go into all the technical detail because I also can't explain that correctly, but basically the carrier frequency is used in the VFD to create the output frequency for the motor. In my case, I set that to be between 0 and 50 Hertz. 0 Hertz then means it doesn't spin at all, and 50 Hertz it spins at full speed, and everything in between. And this carrier frequency is set to 2 kHz. And that is exactly what you can hear. That's the annoying noise. And I should be able to adjust it to a different frequency, for example 8 kHz, and then it will sound differently and probably less annoying and quieter. But for some reason, this is a factory set value that I am not allowed to change. That's how it's written in the manual, and I can't change it for whatever reason. And then there are also other values and parameters that I would like to change, but I'm not able to because of the same reason. I'm basically very limited in what I can set in this variable frequency drive. Now, long story short, I won't use this VFD and I ordered a different, better one where I looked before that I can adjust all the values that I want to. And yeah, I'm still waiting for it to arrive. You may wonder why I bought this then in the first place when I knew I can't set all these values. The thing is, I didn't know that in the first place because I got this as somewhat a sponsoring from Banggood 2 or 3 years ago, just in the hopes that I can use it for a project like this and I can use it properly, but now it turns out that's not the case and I just ordered a proper one, hopefully. But now instead of just not having a video, I have a few small things that I can show you. I received a present from a viewer and there's an update on the Worksurface of the Cnc Router. This is a present from Jordan. He already emailed me quite a few questions and then said, or basically asked, if he can make me a present done with the scroll saw and laser engraver. And I said yes, of course, because that's pretty nice. And I think I have this laying around for already a month and I feel quite bad that it takes me so long to open it. So let's have a look. Dremel Bits, cool. Well, I have most of these, but not bad to have more of them. Scroll saw blades, also nice. Wow, look at that. This is done with the scroll saw. It's really, really nice. Funny about that is that Jordan also added to that email that he hopefully can meet my high standards in terms of craftsmanship. And I honestly can only say this is far beyond what I can do with the scroll saw. This is really, really nice. Thank you very much. That's cool. Measure twice, cut once. That's perfect. Oh yeah, this will definitely go on the wall in the workshop. To Marius, your woodworking skills and videos are the best. Keep up your fabulous work, from Jordan. Oh, I'm quite far behind that date. Okay. This is so cool. Hey Jordan, thank you really much. I really appreciate that. This is awesome. Just need to find a really good spot for that in the workshop. Maybe on the Bandsaw cover. We'll see. Okay, now the CNC router. I made a video about making a clamping and spoilboard system for this. And there I made the whole spoilboard out of MDF strips where I routed some grooves into it where my homemade T-nuts can fit into. The idea here was that I can insert the nut at any position, put it down, rotate it, and then it will lock itself in there, and then I can tighten on it. And when I open it again, it turns the other way and I can just pull it out anywhere in the slot. But MDF is structurally not the best material choice for clamping onto. It's just a very good material to surface and make a nice and flat machine bed where you can put your workpieces on. So a suggestion from that video in the comments, well, many suggestions, were to use plywood strips as basically a foundation and where the clamping forces are, and then glue strips of MDF on top of that, which I then can surface. But after I made the MDF version of the spoilboard, it was no good reason to do the whole thing again and make it better with the combination of birch plywood and MDF. But then again, this machine was a pre-production machine, and about 4 weeks ago Felder wanted it back to fix the last little issues that it still had and update it to the version that you would now get when you buy one. And now that I've got it back, it was a perfect opportunity to redo the spoilboard because I had to remove it before I shipped it back to them. I've already done some work and attached the plywood strips. It has the black phenolic resin coating, which doesn't matter, it's basically birch plywood underneath. I will now surface this surface, then glue on the MDF strips and then surface the MDF again, and then it's ready to go again. For surfacing I have this carbide tipped router bit, and if you're interested in that I can provide you a link in the video description. Okay, I measured the tool length, and Z0 is the current work surface, which doesn't really matter where exactly that is. And now I'm gonna cut 0.5 millimeter of the whole machine parameters. I made a program for that, and now I just let that run. Okay, this is now surfaced and has exposed wood for glue to stick to. And I also already got some 12 millimeter MDF, which I will cut into slightly oversized strips to glue on here. And then I can surface the whole MDF surface and then also recut the slots to make them the correct size. The screw hole locations will then all be hidden underneath the MDF surface, but that's okay. I don't really plan to remove this again. But if I have to, I got all those screw hole locations in software, so when I need to remove it, I can make holes into the MDF surface so I have access to the screws again. Now, to be honest, I kind of do this during my vacation and don't really have more time to do this right now. So I will put this into another update video and then you can see the result. But for now, that's it with this video. First of all, I've got a gift. I've received a little, and then I can surface the whole MDF surface and also recut the slots to make them the correct size.